In this lighting, you can see my sunburn. Oh god, and you can see that my eyes are so sore. It's fine. This is what I do, apparently. I finished my first book for April's magical readathon challenge. My challenge was to do a reread, but I cannot get into my lore with this book. It comes back to the very first year I got back into reading, back in 2018. This book was just too smart for me at the time. This is Ancillary Justice by Leckie. I want to say it's because I was too young and dumb, but I was literally like 26, so. Oh my god, I just did the math right. I was 26. Good job. Look how many awards it won. I reread it with my big adult brain, and I much preferred it now. It is still a little bit like you can't just turn off completely. You do have to kind of think and follow what's going on. It's a very unique point of view. There is a ship that is artificial intelligence, and all of these bodies on the ship, the soldiers of the ship / the helpers on the ship, are all also attached to that same artificial intelligence. Our main character is one surviving unit of this spaceship that has been cut off from the rest of the AI. We go through some of the flashbacks for when they were still attached to the rest of the AI, and it just has a very different pacing, a very different world building style. I just think it is very, very compelling now that I have read it a little bit older, and I think it's just a completely unique work. She's got to be the most powerfully unique author I've ever read. Don't even know how to talk about this in a way that makes sense. I'd recommend it if, you like an intellectual space opera vibe up against a very unknowably large enemy. I will say it is slow. Not a lot happens because we spend a lot of time having to build the world through the flashbacks. I think it was a little bit much for me when I was a new reader because the opening books, it's a little bit slow as we're building up, but it does have a really interesting conclusion to kick us off for the next book. There's something about the way that Leckie writes. Like, her mind is so uniquely different from other authors that if you're somebody who wants to dip your toe into sci-fi, I would more recommend something like Project Hail Mary. But if you are already a big sci-fi fan, I think that this is a freaking awesome read. When I first read it, I gave it 3 stars because I was just like, this was so boring. I didn't understand what was going on. I felt a lot of negative feelings towards it. This time around, I appreciated it a lot more, although I did still feel a couple of those feelings. I gave it 4 stars, but there are a lot of people who would probably argue with me that this is one of the best sci-fi books ever, and it's obvious 5 stars. And Leckie's cool. You should check her out one way or the other. If you're more fantasy, check out The Raven Tower. That's a cool book too, but that's not the point. That's all.